Yeah. So, guys, in yesterday's class, what we have learned, what is ATF and what are the benefits from ATF, how to do ATF, and what are the main benefits of ATF by for the client point of view. Everything we have seen in yesterday's session. So today we'll see what are the limitations and how to run the ATF and all the things we'll cover in today's session. So basically, guys, I'll revise the session for yesterday. So ATF is the main benefit for clients as to reduce their manual efforts. Code can be done automatically, even though for the long time also. So apart from that, while we are trying to do in I mean to say regression testing also, ATF is very beneficial for clients. So it will reduce the cost and it will reduce the human efforts and everything we have in comfortable zone for the clients. So that is the reason now clients are seeking for ATF testers. So coming to the point, I am sharing my screen. So I hope my screen is visible for everyone. So guys, we have learned what is ServiceNow Dev instance and what is ServiceNow QA instance and prod instance. So basically, Dev is for developers and QA is for testers, and production is for end users. So now coming to the points. A second.
రాయిపును చెప్పు ఒకటి
Guys, please go on mute. So we have learned in yesterday's session what are the required roles for ATF to develop the ATF. So as a we need ATF test admin, test designer, and web service tester. These three roles are required for to build ATF. So why test admin needed to create a step configurations, to create a templates, and to upgrade the system properties, everything. Why test designer is required to run the tests and to run the test suits, like to get a buttons. So to use the client test runner as well. So what is meant by client test runner? So basically, client test runner is nothing but whenever we are trying to run the test. So client test runner is it will open in a new window so that we can see each and every test performance at a single place. For example, you are opening an incident form. So what do you need to do? So basically, you need to type in application navigator. You need to type incident, and then it will open an incident create new form. So then we need to fill our fields. So then what we need to do is we need to submit the incident record. So all these functions will be seen in at a single place without having any manual interaction. We can definitely see in client test runner. That is the benefit of client test runner. Earlier in Rome version, we don't have any client test runner. This is an interview question. Sometimes some interviews also they might ask when client test runner has been introduced. From Rome version, we got to know that the client test runner is best usage to see whether the test is getting executed perfectly or not. So we can do debuggings as well. We can hold the client test runner. Where do you want? So in further sessions, you will get to know how to do these all the things. So basically, client test runner is where we can see our all the test performance at a single place, guys. So how to configure a test? This has been already discussed in yesterday's session. So we need to create a test first. Then we need to create in the test. We need to create a test steps. Once we have created the test steps, for we can complete our test. So together all tests combined in a single place will give an test suits, so that we can reduce our efforts rather than going individual tests, right? So that is the use of test suits. This is the most important question from the interview point of view, guys. So what is meant by test suits? So test suits is nothing but which we need to execute many tests in a single click. So multiple tests can be executed at a same place or in a single place. You can frame yourself the answer. The intention of the test suits is nothing but n number of tests together we can run, right? So for example, if we can see here, this is the test suits window, how we can get to know. So here, this is a sample UI test is a one test, and Jasmine successful test is a one test, and UI test in impersonation is a one test. So all the three tests together we can run at a time by clicking on the run test suits, guys, right? So that is the benefit of the test suits. So here we can see the test, how the test looks like. So basically we need to give the name and description. We need to fill our description. This is not a mandatory field. So basically in our organization point of view, what is the benefit of description? So basically description is nothing but what you need to perform on this particular test. For example, you have 10 stories together, right? So what you need to do for each and every story, you are not supposed to do ATF, right? That will be clumsy, and that will be huge number of ATF tests needs to be created. So that to minimize that, so I'll take an example of incident, guys. So in incident, one of the story has came like to change the field name from CI to CA, right? So that is one story. And second story is adding of new related list. So then third story is I need description as curriculum. Likewise, we have n number of stories comes together, so that we for each and every story we are not supposed to create each and every test. That will be created at large number of confusion, creating a n number of tests. So that what we can do is we can simply club together whatever the incident module stories are there. I mean to say, in incident module there are hundreds of stories together. So at a time we can do hundred stories in a single place, so that we can write the story numbers in description. So we have a note section also available. Which step is represented to which? I mean to say, we can write a notes, right? So that we can easily identify what is the benefit of this step and what this step is referred to which story. Likewise, we can write in the note section here, and we can mention the story numbers here, so that we can easily identify the name must be incident life cycle, like that you can write. So we can club all the stories together in a single place, so that we can write a description at a same place, right? This is the benefit of these description and the notes of the sections, so that we can't do n number of tests at a single place, guys. I mean, we can do a number of tests in a single place. We can't. We need not to supposed to do a individual test at a individual test together. I mean, it will create a lot of confusion. So that is the reason we can use these things, guys. So what is the test step? So test step is nothing but whatever the test. So for example, I want to open my incident form, guys. So what we need to do? We already discussed this same point in yesterday's session also. So for each and every test step, there is an unique authentication. Likewise, what I mean to say is, for example, I need to open a form. So that is step number one. So this is an one chain system. Like we can open the form. There is n number of things we need to identify, guys. This is the most important thing. Mainly whenever you are going to learn ATF, there is a two logics are running behind this. So first of all, we need to check which table it is getting opened, right? So the performance must be done on this particular table. For example, I want incident to be opened, so that what I can do is in table I'll definitely give incident here, right? So incident table will open, right? I can give the filter conditions, whatever the conditions we need. So that, I mean, filter conditions are nothing but in which conditions it needs to be opened, like what is the priority of this incident, what is the state of the incident. We can set the variables, we can validate the variables, we can validate the state of the things, like whether it was a mandatory, whether it was a read only, whether it was a editable, everything we can do that, right? So that the main logic behind ATF is to focus on the tables, guys, without having, if you want to open incident, so if you have given the table name as SC task or problem, so it won't execute. Why? Because whatever the table it has been given, that will be taken from the system. So system knows only tables, system knows only the fields what are available on this particular table itself. For example, we have a description in our, incident. There is no description in SC task. So how can it read? So that is the reason the tables are most important to learn. I mean, whenever you are going to create a test steps, you need to focus on the tables first. Then you can go ahead, right? So this is how we can perform the test steps, guys. So what are the test step configurations? So as we already discussed, for example, you need to create a test step. So that you can ask your developer to give a code. I want for one step in my ATF. So whatever the out-of-box functionality is not accepting, so that you can create a new step by writing your own code, and you can execute that functionality as well, right? Likewise, there are 100 out-of-box functionality steps are available from the ATF perspective view. So in the particular 100 steps also, there is for each and every step, there is a step configurations are available, right? So test configurations is nothing but, so the step configurations are nothing but whatever the backend operations are running from, there is a code logic behind every step, so that system can identify, for example, I want to open a new form, right? So how system can know that we are clicking on open a new form? There must be a backend operation needs to be run, right? So for each and every step, remember guys, for each and every step, there must be an backend operation running on each and every step. Likewise, here we can see, if we can open the step configurations, here we can see the code behind every steps. Whatever, if you can see the code here, how the step is going to execute. If you know the coding, you can see this. If you don't know coding, there is no need to know all the things. Why? Because there are already inbuilt functionalities are developed on ATFs, right? So what is meant by run test? So basically, run tests are nothing but to run each and every test, guys. So you have created n number of steps, so that you need to run the test, right? So what you need to do? So you have created 10 steps. So I need all the 10 steps need to be executed at a single place, so that you can click on your run test button. Then if you are clicking on run test button, it will open your client test runner in a beside window, so that you can see your UI native in your UI is displayed on that particular client test runner. So we can easily get to know how the test is going to execute and all the things. So run test is to run the test. That's it. So what is meant by batching? So basically, batching is nothing but if you want to group or ungroup something. So you have created 100 steps, guys. So you want the particular step needs to be run at a particular time. For example, I am taking an incident example again, right? So first step is what? We need to open a form. We need to fill the details. We need to submit the form. These are the execution order, right? So that means if I can write step number 3, if I can write submit the form instead of filling the field details, it will fail, obviously. So what I mean to say is ATF needs a proper execution order must be there. So that first step needs to be open the form. Second step needs to be the fill the fields, and third step needs to be submit the form. If I can write submit the form in the step number 2, it won't read, right? Why? Because there are mandatory fields are also available in the form level. So it won't catch and it won't execute properly. That is the reason you need to give whatever the action is doing from your end by manually also. The flow must be in a particular order itself. Then only ATF will execute. Otherwise, it won't, guys. Right? So what are the step results? So once you have run your test, guys, right? So for each and every time, it will provide a results. So what we can see in the results, the step has been success or fail. So each and every time you're not supposed to success, right? Sometimes it might fail due to some external errors, like timeout errors are there. We need to increase the timeout. I'll let you know what is the use of benefit of timeout and all the things in further sessions. So we have n number of errors might came in a system. Also, it can't read some properties. Then how to do all the things, I can definitely let you know, guys, in while we are doing practically. So each and every time we have success and failure steps also will came. For failure steps also, why the particular step has been failed, why the particular, if success is there, why the particular step has been success. That is we can see in our log after successfully completion of our test execution, guys, right? So once the test execution has been completed, then automatically we can see our test result, whether it was a success, whether it was a failure, everything we can monitor by seeing our logs. Logs are nothing but we can see browser consoles. That is how the execution has been performed, how the things has been performed, in which time it was executed, with a time and seconds and everything. So monitor all the things, guys. So here the most important thing is rollback, guys. What is meant by rollback? This is an interview question also. This is very, very, very important. So basically, ATF has a beautiful, I mean, I can say it was the best thing whatever ATF has introduced, guys. So what is the basic need of rollback? For example, you have created your incident, guys. For each and every time, it will create, ATF has a particular specification. For each and every time, it will create a new record. It will create a new incident record. So that if you have executed hundreds of times, all the records should be stored in our particular table, right? So then what will happen? System might crash. Why? Because these are all the test sample records. What we can for each and every time when we are executing the test, for each and every time we will get a record, and it will be stored on the particular table. It will be the it might create a system crash. Why? Because you are not supposed to run one time. You can run hundreds of times also, right? So main portion of the rollback function is whenever the test has been completed, right? So for example, I am executing step number 1 on the to open a incident form. So whenever we are opening a incident form, it will create an unique ID, unique number, right? So it must be stored in particular incident table, right? So it has been stored, and I have total number of steps are 10. 1 to 10, I have total number of steps. So that whenever I was clicked on, I haven't clicked on run test, so it will create a record and it will stored on a particular incident incident table. So it will be stay on the incident table until and unless our 10 steps has been executed. Once all 10 steps has successfully, it will get removed from the table. Dump data should not be allowed in ATF. Why? Because it might create a huge problem if you are taking a test samples records together. So that the rollback functionality is to remove all the data, to remove all the records, whatever we have created from the particular ATF. It will roll back to the system, so that we can't able to find our incident records in our particular incident table, guys. So this is the main important thing from the rollback. If you want to see, the definition, you can definitely see, guys. Right. So what is meant by client test runner? We already discussed this point. So it was an UI, the client side, whatever the client will see. I mean, whatever the native UI you can perform. For example, we are running the test. So opening a form, setting a field values, each and every execution we can see from the client test runner, which has been executed from the client side, guys. There are two types. One is client side, another is server side. Server side we can't able to see. Client side we can see. Server side is nothing but data. Data means if you have stored something in your user table or in your external tables, the database is nothing but a server side. So whatever the data has been stored from the backend itself, that has been come under the server side. Whatever we can see in front of our eyes, I mean to say in the UI is nothing but user interface. So that is called an UI. So we can see each and every execution in our particular client test runner, guys. This is the benefit of the client test runner. So whatever the main benefit of the client test runner is to open all the server UI steps also. You can see our test batches. I mean, how the test batch has been executed. For example, I have filled n number of fields at a time. In a single step, I have filled. I need to fill the short description. I need to fill the description. I need to fill the affected CI. I need to fill the severity. I need to fill the priority. Everything will be covered on a single step, so that we can see every single declaration, whatever we are declaring. The severity is this, and description is test, and the short description is test short description. Everything should be filled in front of our eyes, so that we can see whatever we have given in our test step. We can see in live by using client test runner, guys. Right. So we need to pick a browser, so that whenever we have clicked on a run test, every time, whenever we have an UI, if you remember, guys, after creation of our test, we need to click on our run test, right? So it will ask for the browser, to pick a browser, which browser you need to use, so that it will open on a particular browser only. So that you need not to use these things much more. Why? Because whatever browser you are using to create ATFs, you can pick the same browser, so that you can identify easily in a same place. Next to your window is a client test runner will open. So guys, here one more important point will be there. So for example, I have opened my test ATF in front, so that I have clicked on the run test. I have given this browser also. Whenever I have clicked on the run test, it will open. Client test runner will open in a separate window. So here what we can say is, without having that proper particular client test runner window, ATF test won't execute, guys. You need to remember this always. You need to be there whenever UI actions are UI user interface things are getting executed. You need to open your client test runner window always. For example, you have opened in system, you are doing something work is going on. So I need to click on the run test, so that it will execute by this own. It won't execute, guys. You need to always stay on the same client test runner window, so that how the test can be executed. Without opening the client test runner window, ATF test won't execute, guys. This is also the interview question, right? So no worries, guys. I'll show you in live also. No worries. This is a high level what I am giving at this point of view. What is how to go through the ATF and all the things. So whenever we are going to the live classes, it will be easy to understand. So remember these points, at least these words. What is meant by client test runner? What is run test? What is the test? And what is the test suits? What are the difference between the test and test suits? Likewise, you can assume yourself. Then you can get to know once we are doing it live. So this is how we can see, guys. This is the client test runner execution. This is a separate window what we have opened. Here we can see these are the 3 steps. Here we can see running step 2 of 3. There are three steps. It was running on the second step. So we can see which step is going to execute in the down also, so that we can easily identify at which point we are currently right now, so that we can easily identify from the client test runner, guys. So whitelist client test errors. So I already discussed right now. Sometimes we'll get an errors. So at that time, what we need to do, you have many failures came in place, you will get errors also. So at the errors, what you need to do, so basically, if it is an system errors, like we need to add error message here, and it will give in the error logs as well, guys. No need to worry. Whatever the error is getting, so we need directly. It was earlier. It was a whitelist client errors. It was called. So now it was changed as allowed client test errors, guys. The name has been changed as allowed client test errors. We can allow our client test errors also. So we can keep an we can add it to the ignore list. We can keep it as an warning list as well, according to whatever the error we got, right? So simply we can give error message here, and we can add it to the bucket, whatever ignore list or whatever it was warning list. We can submit the page. That's it. So guys, there is no scheduling and use case. You might not use most of the time scheduling, but anyways, I need to cover these as well. So schedule is nothing but, for example, in your organization, you have created a test suite, and your colleague has created a test suite, and n number of people has been created a test suite. So rather than creating individually, we can create a schedule so that all the test suites will be run together at a without having any manual interaction, guys. So that is meant by scheduling. So if you schedule a particular time, so it all the test suites, whatever we have added to the particular schedule, it will run together without having any manual efforts, guys. So that is the use of scheduling. Most of the times you are not supposed to create a schedules. Why? Because your architect and your solution architects will might create. Sometimes in most of the organizations they won't use schedules also. You can directly create a test, and you can directly create a test suits, and you can run the test suits. That's it. So there is a parallel testing. So for example, what is meant by parallel testing, guys? So for example, I have an incident module and I have a problem module. I have created both together. So can I run at a single place? Can I run both together without creating any, I mean, a test suite? No, right? So what we can do, if you have prepared your problem, and if you have prepared your incident module, both together, if you can use separate browsers, it can execute. If you are using on the same browser, it won't execute, guys. We can run ATFs parallelly by using multiple windows. I mean multiple browsers, so that we can definitely run both tests together. So if we can see the test templates, how the test templates looks like. So guys, one more important topic I have missed till now. So basically ATF has a one beauty. Why? What we have earlier we have discussed, we can impersonate as a person, right? So that we don't have, for example, Pavan is working on particular organization, right? So you have created a particular impersonation on my name. Pavan has impersonated, so that he can view all the modules, whatever I as an end client, you can assume, guys. So Pavan is working as an end client. So I left the organization after some time. So whether but in your use case, you have impersonated directly on my name, right? So after leaving my organization, whether the test has been executed or not. It will definitely not, guys. Why? Because my SysID is my SID is already disabled. So the reason we can't able to give hard coded. The main thing, we can create a user, whatever the Pawan having a particular roles and groups, you can create a dynamic user always, so that if Pawan or someone else has left the organization also, ATF never have an impact, guys. So you can create your users dynamically. This is the most important thing. This is the most best part you can see in your future endeavors, guys. So you can impersonate as a created user. You can create a user having a particular roles also, right? So what is test templates? Test templates are nothing but reusable sets of test steps. So guys, I have created a incident module on my tests. So I need all the test steps together in another test also, so that I can copy all the tests together, guys. I mean, I have created 10 steps together, right? So I need to copy all the 10 steps in another version. I need to clone, I need to copy all the tests in another for the another test, so that it will create a copy version also, guys, right? So we can easily modify all the things from there, right? We can create a custom steps. Custom steps are not, we already discussed. If I want to see a Pawan as a new step, there you can see always, you can create a custom steps there, right? What you need to do by using a custom step configurations. So we need to go to our step configurations. There you can easily write a new step, so that whatever the code you need to give, you can give, so that the step has been executed, whatever the code has been given from your end. So we can create a custom step configurations as well, guys, right? And these are the outputs. What are the outputs by creating a step configurations? For example, we have some limitations on ATFs. So we have achieved the limitations also by using the custom steps. So it will be makes your life easy. So guys, the main disadvantage of ATF is, for example, you are not able to complete your step. So if something has been broken in between, by using all the steps, by using whatever the required step is also, it was not working. Whether you are able to go ahead without having that sequence, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If my step has been break from the third, so whether you can go to the fourth step, no. This is the main disadvantage of ATF, guys. If something has been breaked in between, you can't go ahead without having that test step passed, right? So these are all the step configurations we'll get to know whenever we will go to the instance. And these are all about the scheduling a test suits, how to schedule a test suits. So we can write how many test suits are there. We can schedule all the test suits together. That is called the scheduling. So here we can see UA test, whether it was passed or failed, which test suit has been passed, which test suit has been failed, which test case has been passed or not. So individually also we can monitor, guys. Or even though you have given n number of tests together, n number of test suits together also, it will give our accurate step what it was getting breaked, guys. So this is the main use of ATF. So we can easily monitor, you can easily identify where you are getting break. So or designing tests to run in parallel. So as we already discussed, we can use tests. We can use multiple tests in parallel sites by using another browser as well. So guys, here we can say there is a best step we can say in ATF is record query, guys. Record query is nothing but whatever the record should be queried from particular table, whether the record has been existed or not, right? We can query that record, whether the record has been there in the particular table or not. We can easily identify it by using record queries, guys. So basically, record query is a server side step, guys. Why? For using server side, we need not to open our client test runner window. It will execute directly also without opening any client test runner window. It will execute directly. Why? Because it was doing the backend operation, right? Not a custom UI. It was not using a user interface. It was using the backend operation. That means, so whether a record has been existed in a particular table or not, it will get fetched the record from there. We can easily fetch the record from where the record has been existed, right? So these are the mutual executive tests. So basically, we can run the both tests together. If you can see here, prevent the conflict tests from running in parallel by making them mutual exclusive. Sorry. So ServiceNow is automatically marks tests as mutually exclusive when there is a potential resource conflict. For example, when ServiceNow is identifies the test to modify the same record, so we can track it easily whenever the record has been modified. For example, you have created a test case right now, right? So after 10 days or 15 days, you might come so that you have changed some steps. So at particular we have 10 steps. You have changed the step number 5 after coming after 10 days or 15 days, anytime. So you can easily identify the which step has been modified from there. The step number 5 has been modified so that you can easily keep a track on that, right? So executing a test individually versus in so we already know this topic, guys. Executing a test individually versus a suite. So executing a test individually, what is it meant? So it meant so it meant a test individually, we can run the test individually. So in test suites, a number of tests together we can run, right? So that we can easily identify, guys. So we can go to instance now, and what are the properties till now what we have covered. See, so this is an application navigator, guys, our favorite thing. So if we can click on this application, or you can go to our ATF. Something has locked. Problem.
Your voice is on mute if you're speaking anything, Pawan. You're not able to hear you.
Pawan, your voice is not audible.
We can't hear you, Pawan.
Pawan, we
Please
can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Pawan.
Pawan, can you please pause for a few seconds?
Hi, Pawan. Hello. Hello.
Thanks. There is some audio issues.
Pawan, you're not audible.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yeah, yes, Pawan.
Audible. Thanks.
Yeah, sorry. Till where you have gone through, guys?
From starting. One instant.
From starting it, or from there you need to start, Pawan. ATF, whatever you have created test, it is not audible for us.
Okay, okay. So basically, if we have opened our instance, so how to navigate to our module, guys, right? So we need to type automated test framework here in our particular module, in our application navigator, so that you can see all the things wherever you want to create a test or test suits or everything. So there is an prerequisites, there is a pre-built tests and test suits are available from the system. So I can close all the windows first so that you can. Okay. I think I have an instance issue, guys. Oh my goodness. I think instance is behaving oddly, guys. I'm not able to open this. I don't know why. Yeah. So just type automated test frameworks here. This is our module, what we need to execute and where we need to execute our ATFs. So you can type all your automation test frameworks, or else we have a shortcut key as well, guys. That is ATF close braces. So that we can, this is a shortcut key, guys. Remember this, ATF close braces also open our module. So we can see here auto generated tests and test suites and quick start suites. So what are the differences between these all things, guys? If you want to create our test so that we can open in our
Again, we lost you, Pawan.
am I audible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, this is a shortcut key what we can see here. So we have opened our test. So we need to create our new test, right? So what we need to do? So we can click on a new, then whatever incident demo, we'll give our name and we can save. After saving our test, we are not able to see our run test button over here, guys. Why? Because our system properties are not enabled. That is the reason. Whenever you are facing the same issue in your particular organization, so in your organization, you are the one who is starting, your ATFs. So some organizations are recently using ATFs. Earlier, they are not supposed to use ATFs. They are not used to use ServiceNow. So first of all, what we need to do, this is a basic thing, guys. If you are not able to see run test buttons, what we need to do is we need to go to properties under our ATF module. So here we can see our properties under the administration, guys. So you can open your properties, guys. I'm opening it in a new window. How? Press control and give a tap. So that it will open in a new window. You need to always remember, guys, you need to open your home page every time. Why? Because you are not supposed to work on a single page. You need to work on the multiple pages. That is the reason you need to open your home page always. So to open our thing in a new window, just tap, just hold control and give a tap. So I need to open a properties, just hold control and give a tap, then it will open in a new window. So here we can see in a new window, test suite properties, these are all disabled. If you can check here. So if I can click all yes, these are the debug functionality. Debugging, I'll explain, guys, what is debugging and what is the usage of debugging. So right now we are not able to see our run test button, so that I'm enabling all the properties from here so that I can easily do the same. So these properties to enable whatever the test is getting executed. If you want our screenshot for the particular step, it will provide the screenshot to us, right? So otherwise, if you want your test failure screenshot only, not all steps, I don't require all steps screenshots, so that you can easily change also, guys, right? So if you this is a screenshot timeout. So screenshot timeout should is 60 seconds and numeric values to get the how many pixels you want for screenshot. You can increase or decrease anything anything you can do, guys, from here. So if you can see here, these two are the screenshot properties, guys. Here it has enabled for all steps. If I want to enable for only fail steps. Then ATF will capture the screenshot only for the fail steps, guys. If you have selected this disable step, disable for all steps, it won't take any screenshot for test execution. So most of the times use this second feature, guys. Enable for only fail steps. Why? Because why I am saying, if you are doing this also, that is not a wrong, but still you need to use this. Why? Because if you have given enable for all steps, then it might impact your performance. So for example, you have 100 steps in your ATF, in your test. So for each and every step, it needs to be take a screenshot, and it will move to another step. So then second step, for second step also it will take a screenshot. So the time might get extended. So that if you have enable for the fail steps where you are getting where you are getting failed for the particular step only, it will capture the screenshot, guys. So most probably use this feature only, right, to reduce your time from execution, right? So you have enabled all the properties here. So you can just click on save. Earlier, what we can see, okay, properties has been updated. You can see here. So now, earlier what we have seen, so there is no run test, nothing is there to run our test, right? So if I can refresh this form, you'll definitely able to see your run test button over there, so that you can execute your test, right? So remember this point, guys. Whenever you have made some changes in your form level or something, you have updated something from the back end, you have opened the same window, that won't reflect any changes. You need to refresh the form always, guys. So here, without having refresh, we are not able to see the run test and debug test buttons, right? So we have even though we have updated our properties from here, so still we are not able to see the run test and debug test. Why? Because we haven't reloaded our page. So what we need to know is, so for each and every update, we need to refresh our page, guys. So then only the changes, the updates will get displayed on the particular form or page, right? So till here we are good. So I'm stopping the recording. So anyone is having any doubts?
Yeah.